Everybody in? Everybody in?
Elder Parks is still working on it.
Okay. A couple weeks to the end of school. I don't need to remind anybody in this room, do I? 3 weeks to
17 days.
graduation?
It's in 17 days of graduation.
Yes.
23.
Looking
until
forward to
last day.
Graduation at Danville Stadium at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, sir.
That should be a wonderful day. It will be a glorious, wonderful, sunshiny day. I guarantee it. Yeah, we'll see. All right, we good? Everybody, would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. That should bring us to discipline motions. Item number 3. We did have closed session and we do have a discipline motion. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I move that we uphold the findings of the board in student discipline cases 24, 22, 26, 44, ATH 24, 22, 03, 03, and ATH 24, 20, 02, 05.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Elder Parks,
Yes.
Mrs. Holland,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley. Yes. Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader,
Yes.
Dr. Miller,
Yes.
Dr. Ashton.
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much. That brings us to item number 4, consent agenda, and we're gonna put it in with agenda approval because approving the agenda and would be our consent agenda also. Any changes to the agenda? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
I move we approve.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second, knowing that approving the agenda is approval of the consent agenda. Also, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Elder Parks,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader,
Yes.
Mrs. Holland,
Yes.
Dr. Ashton.
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Anything you'd like to say? No? Okay. Moving right along then. That brings us to item number 5, which should be public comments.
Zane Ross.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
It doesn't amplify, it's
Oh.
just for the streaming value.
Oh, okay.
But they heard
Yes.
you.
Hello, District 118 Board of Education and guests. How are you all feeling tonight? I know I'm fired up. What an incredible opportunity it is to be here standing in front of the District 118 and to be invited out here tonight. A quick introduction. My name is Zane Ross. I'm a former graduate of District 118. And I just wanted to highlight that I'm personally being coached and mentored by a couple named Justin and Jordan Green out in Kansas City. And I have been connected to many other entrepreneurs in the e-commerce arena and being associated with people who truly are invested in my life and want to see me do better in every aspect of life, just like this school district has. So I wanted to speak tonight about my health and wellness business. And how that ties, into the district and how they have, you guys have helped me, and that plays a big role in that. With starting my entrepreneurial journey, I started this business to help supply some basic needs of friends and loved ones. And as a result of the new tech program and the insights that I have gained from that, I have learned the importance of setting realistic character development goals and being a positive role model. And I have learned to be a lifelong learner. And I had to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? And so I have also learned about the baggage of wrong thinking I was always told by the associations that I had growing up that you have to have more degrees to be more successful and be more important. And the reality is that I don't have to continue to think that way, right? I grew up with a fixed mindset, and I'm now developing a growth mindset. And my biggest fear is that I will go back to the place that I started from. And so growing up, I didn't always know what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. I knew the lifestyle that I didn't want. And in my opinion, the family that you create is far more important than the family that you grow up in. And so this gave me the vision to start on this entrepreneurial journey to create a second sustainable source of income, ready my finances for a future family. And because of the New Tech program, I am able to recognize an opportunity. And this has inevitably changed the direction and the course of my future. So thanks, District 118, for setting the foundation for me as I grow on my entrepreneurial journey. And I look forward to serving you and giving back to DHS for what they have given to me. So thank you for your time, and I hope that I can gain your support.
I don't know if we should clap.
I know.
Any other comments?
Anybody else?
Thank you for that. We appreciate that. And we wish you success. Hopefully you'll come back in 25 years and you'll go, aha, I have $1 billion gift for District 118. We'll take $1 million. Item number 6, always one of my favorite. Oh, I asked. She said none. See, come on, come here. Item number 6, Golden Ruler Awards. Who is it? You are?
I will,
Yes.
since we don't have any
I
with
love-
us, though, doesn't look like, so.
Ta-da.
Oh, it's going to go on the screen. You still want me to announce it? Okay. Well, it's going to pop up on the screen. I see it. You guys just don't yet. But we did have quite a few recipients. There it is. Thank you. This year of our Golden Ruler Award. This is something that we do every year with Vermilion County. And we had a great turnout at the dinner. It was just a few weeks ago. So real quick, I'd like to introduce and give a quick shout out to those who have just gone above and beyond and were able to be recognized at this banquet. We have Brian Simmons, who's a home program interventionist coordinator at Danville High School. Mindy Meeker, who's a teaching assistant at Southview Upper Elementary. DeShante Morris, who is one of our custodians, and he's at Edison right now. Emily Worrell, who's a speech and language pathologist at Liberty. We have Jenna White, she's a social worker from Mead Park. Miss Kimberly Lindsay, she's a retired school teacher who is back and serving at Northeast. Brandy Kirkenbaugh, who is a teaching assistant at Kenneth D. Bailey Academy. Marta Mitchell, who's another home program interventionist coordinator at Southwest. Angie McCool, special education teacher at Northridge, and Miss Tori Apple, who works with our special education department, and she works with hearing impaired. So those are all of our winners this year, recipients of the Golden Ruler, and we just want to say thank you to all of them, and we had a great night and a great dinner with them and showering them with appreciation. So congrats to them.
Item number 7, thank you for that. Permission to accept the letter of intent from Carl Health and negotiate a lease agreement for the property located at 2300 North Vermilion.
That's me. I do have in the audience with me Mr. Marty Smith, who is the real estate manager for Carl Health. And we want to be clear, he's not here negotiating on Carl's behalf because that gets us into some different waters. But I wanted to thank you for being here to support this evening. Carl Health has been a great partnership, and I really would like to personally thank Ms. Darlene Holloran for intervening as that property at 2300 North Vermilion became available. She reached out to the powers to be to let them know that we have been interested in that property since we knew that there would be a new Carl Hospital. Marty reached out and they graciously, it is a 47,000 square foot facility, and they have plans for the back half of it. But what they are offering to Danville District 118 is everything in the front and all of the downstairs. With that location, we'd like to, the lease rate that they offered was very generous. We landed at, was $11.50 per square foot, which is $540,000. And I said, well, Marty, you know, I've got so much stuff to do to it. I need to do some things. You know, I'm a fry broke. I don't have any money. Can you help me the first year? And so Carl was saying, well, maybe we have some things to do if you can just cover those bare costs, we can go ahead and forego the rest of it for the first year to allow you to do some work in there. And so this evening, I'm asking if the Board of Education will grant us the ability to negotiate a lease agreement for a 10-year commitment with Carl for the property at 2300 North Vermillion, the lower level and the upper portions of the first floor.
Is this for a vote?
Yeah.
Move to approve?
Mhm.
Move to approve.
Second.
And then we can do questions.
Yeah, correct. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
I have a comment. Actually, a word of thanks to Mr. Smith. In organizations that are large with lots of bureaucracy and lots of levels of bureaucracy, this was so refreshing. He was so enthusiastic about this opportunity and about Danville. It's so nice to have someone not from here talk about how good our community is and what our community needed. So I thank you for that. I thank you for that enthusiasm and the partnership that you just took the ball and ran with it. And please know, as a community, as a school district, we're so grateful for that enthusiasm. Thank you.
Any other?
Did we explain what we were using it for?
Sure. I was going to ask that question of myself if no one else did. So we all know that we have approximately 300 students on our waiting list for early childhood services in Vermillion County. We've grown our early childhood program, but still there are 300 children who need to be served, who qualify for services. The State Board of Education and Governor Pritzker have indicated that they will provide additional funding, and they've actually already started to do so. So we would like to use a large portion of that building to accommodate an expansion of our early childhood program. We would also like to envision, if we get the okay, Mr. Aaron Hurd from the Regional Office of Education, we would like to provide what we believe our community needs, our staff need, which is a daycare center for our staff to be able to bring their children to District 118, know that they are in a safe place with daycare while they come to work here. So we would like to make a daycare center in the front part of the building. And then in the bottom part, I do need, we have expanded our alternative program. And so, you know, we have children in multiple locations. And while we are expanding KDVA, that's already full and the building is not even complete. So what I'm asking is if I could take the students that are housing maybe one of our other alternative locations and use them at that lower level to accommodate those students while we figure out what we can do to expand some more. That's the initial vision. And Marty was great because you guys know how I work. I'm walking and I'm seeing, and I need to flick on the light, turn off the light, flick on the light. This is what I'm thinking, how about this? And he was able to keep up with me. He did a phenomenal job, which is not really easy to do when I'm in that mode. And he found ways, every time okay, this is the problem, I see this wall. He was like, nope, because you can do this and this and this. He was actually very solution oriented. And I really appreciate that kind of support. You don't find that often. I want to tell you thank you. So, daycare center for the students and staff in the front part, early childhood center in the main portion, and that's part of, because the lower portion is huge. And to do some of our alternative, and I would probably be our lower Lee students, that lower Lee program would have to pull it over and maybe take it there. So, it's a certain number of programs. And we could expand our, the key is that there are 300 students on the waiting list for early childhood services in Vermillion County.
I am so excited that we are looking at the potential of providing these early childhood services. Our county needs this so badly, and I am so excited that we're able to have this opportunity. Thank you. And also expanding alternative. We have a lot of kids that have a lot of need, and I appreciate Ms. Holleran and Mr. Smith and Dr. Geddes. What a great job. This is so good for our district, so good for our community.
And again, if I didn't say it, Ms. Holland, job well done,
Thank you.
because I gave her like the okay. I've run up against all the roadblocks. I couldn't get any further. I gave her the okay on Monday. On Tuesday night, she was like, "We have an appointment at such and such. They'll be meeting us with." It happened just that quickly, so
Yep.
I really want to thank you for that.
Yeah, she was all over that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you were-
Mhm.
I got a couple problems. Can you tell?
And it was kind of that, okay, I'm gonna let you try, Geddes. Go ahead. And I just kept broke, and finally I surrendered. Okay, I can't do it. And she was like, okay, now I'll take over.
She got it done.
She got it done.
So, I'm gonna agree with that because pre-K is huge right now. And being a convert on pre-K, I used to think pre-K, really? We're making something up to, and then when you start, because we get literature from everywhere and sent to us and whatever else, and sometimes I read it, and a lot of it, it was a joke. A lot of the literature in the last couple of years has been how the path to success is unbelievably linked to this pre-K. I mean that it's indisputable at the moment because it is huge, the disparity between if you did do pre-K or you didn't do as far as your future success. So anything we can do when this came up, I said anything we can do to get more students in pre-K and get in the pipeline, get on the expressway, so we can help them out would be a great thing. The facility's awesome, and we do not want to see another facility not used in our town. So if we can go into a great facility and have a program that's much needed, it's just a win, and probably another win. So we'll see as we go forward in the future. We'll see how it is. Any other questions or comments? If
Daycare, great recruiting tool, Miss Pabst.
Right.
So we are voting on permission to negotiate the lease. Carl North. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader,
Yes.
Elder Parks,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Dr. Crash.
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Mr. Smith, do you have anything you'd like to add?
We're pleased to be partnering with this school district. We invest in the communities where we serve.
Why don't you come on up and say that at the podium so everybody can hear? Because that's great for them to know about, Carl.
No, thank you for the opportunity to work together on this project. We love to collaborate in the communities we serve. You all have had a very professional staff walk through the programming, and we're just thrilled that we can partner with you on this process. We know that pre-K is a big part of our learning process, and we're thrilled that Danville is going to expand that and that Carl can be a part of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Is that your real name, Mr. Smith? We just had a neighbor move in that I've not seen 4 months ago, and his name's Mr. Smith. My wife goes, our new neighbor is Mr. Smith. I'm going, yeah, right. But that's a story for another day. Item 8, Danville High School Building Trades Presentation. Hammers. All right. All right.
Can I share your agenda? Mine is up.
So they're all shy, and so they want me to talk. Although I'm gonna make them introduce themselves in a minute.
Did you want the videos?
We'll do that at the end. Is that fine? So
Thank you, Mr. Bretz.
hello, I'm Mr. Bretz. I have. They're being very shy. I would rather not be the one standing in front of the line here. I'm gonna have them introduce themselves and talk briefly. And normally Mr. Heil would be here, but he is out of town for a family thing. But he did leave a short thing that he wanted to read and acknowledge some people. So I'll try to paraphrase and be brief. So in this spring, the Danville High School CTE building trades and geometry and construction classes were offered an opportunity to partner with the Danville Police Department when Chief Yates agreed to allow our woodshop teacher, Mr. Boyd, and some of his students an opportunity to rebuild the Friendly School on the northeast side of Friendly Town. The CTE department was also very happy to learn that the sponsor of the Friendly School is 1994 DHS graduate and math teacher, Miss Rachel Siebert. So Mr. Boyd, as well as Mr. Harmless, who's the math side of our geometry and construction class, immediately jumped on this opportunity. We wanted to thank Mr. Joe Wallace at Kirshner Building Centers of Danville, who became our lead partner, providing all the lumber and the building materials. So over the last 4 weeks prior to the build, the geometry and construction and some building trade students actually constructed the Friendly School inside of the Danville woodshop. Looks great. What do we have here? Sorry. They constructed, sheeted, and painted the schoolhouse inside the woodshop. In addition to the construction, Northridge SRO Josh Long contacted us about the students creating a logo for Friendly Town. So students in Miss Howard's graphic arts class used their skills learned this year to create the logo. That logo was then designed and also fabricated by Mr. Joe Werner and the welding students. And then they also wanted to thank Miss Zeta and Miss Lott from food service for coming out and constantly providing food and drinks and other refreshments to the students while they built. So the timeline was Friday, April 26th, then the students deconstructed the building inside of the wood shop. Here's where we want to thank our second community partner, Darren and Carrie Owens from Owens Excavating, for providing transportation of the deconstructed school and other building materials to the job site. Then on April 30th and May 1st, Mr. Boyd and his students, there was more than just these two, trust me, you'll see here in a minute, spent 2 whole days reconstructing the building on site at Lincoln Park. The entire event was chronicled in real time by Mrs. Kara Heil's multimedia and photography students, which we have some short videos to show you here in a minute. And Mr. Heil also wanted to thank the school board for their support in this, particularly those of you who were here that voted on the approval of the geometry and construction program. And this is really like what we envisioned for that class when it came into existence. I am going to make you all introduce yourselves, and then maybe students tell them what you enjoyed most and what you got out of the experience. Okay?
As Mr. Brett said, I'm Mr. Boyd, geometry and construction and building trades and construction trades teacher. I want to take the opportunity to let you know that this was 100% a student-driven project. They put the energy behind it. They put the passion behind it. I just ruddered it in the right direction, and they made a beautiful, amazing project that will impact the community for many, many generations. We do intend to make an annual visit to refurbish and continue to make sure that it represents our program, the high school, and our community as best it can. And without that, this is one of my building and trades students.
So my name's Brady, and so I honestly am just the muscle. I'm not the brains. Okay. I learned like after we built the thing that it was supposed to be painted to represent DHS. I just do what they tell me. but I was able to get some experience in safety fall arrest systems. So I was able to get on the roof of the building to help shingle tire paper. Was it tire paper? I learned how to put tire paper on. Trying to think what else.
They also designed, fabricated truss system so that it was modular, so they could take it on site and then put the roof up faster.
Yes. Trying to think if there was anything else. Nope, I don't think so.
That's a lot.
This student from my geometry and construction, lead and head painter, was running a crew of painters to create the beautiful paint job that came out in the end.
I'm Madison Barnes. I did do a lot of the painting. I meant that. I was not getting on the roof.
Can't quite hear you.
I was not getting on the roof.
The microphone.
I did a lot of the painting, but I was not getting on the roof. No. But I did a lot groundwork, painted a lot of the trim that I didn't know had to be painted. But I learned a lot of opportunities from it and how to shingle a roof and what you have to do, like plywood, and how they did the trusses. But it was a good experience. Everyone had a lot of fun with it. A little arguments, but mostly fun.
What's your name?
Madison Barnes.
Madison, thank you.
I would like to just close by saying this is the first of many great things to come out of this group and the construction trades program. Through Friendly Town, we were able to make friendship with the local chapter of the Habitat for Humanity, and we're hoping we can foster that into on-site construction to help create homes for the community, turn some of these vacant, dilapidated lots into beautiful homes for, needing families.
Fantastic.
Two
So
videos.
there's two videos that are student
There's a time
made.
lapse.
There's a short time lapse one, and then maybe for the sake of time, we'll
We'll
just
just-
show you the time lapse,
time
and then
lapse,
Ms.
okay.
Robinson, if you want to share the longer one with them,
We
or
can
I
do
can
that.
I can forward you the email. It's there's another one's about 4
It's
minutes.
4 minutes.
Unless you want to watch the other one.
The one's 4 minutes, the
probably
other one's
about
about
5 minutes
30,
total. It's up
30
to you.
seconds. Play the first one? Okay,
Okay.
sure.
Thank you.
Sound's not working on it. Yeah, should be. There should be music. It was playing earlier. I would sing, but you don't want to hear me sing, so. There is music that goes to it, though. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we can post it to the website. And you can explain things if you want to as we go along.
Right here, they're laying out and installing the modular truss system.
Putting on the rest of the top layer.
Yes, and installing the top plates to lock all the walls together. They really did an amazing job of working both as a team and dividing all of their resources so that multiple tasks were getting done all at the same time. I was really proud to see how well they worked. They worked like a crew much older and much more experienced than their age and their current experience level shows. They did a phenomenal job.
can tell they're having a good time and having fun, but they're taking their responsibilities seriously.
Yeah, every student in the program talked about their experience at Friendly Town, and so
It's amazing.
when I pitched it to them, I told them we have a very short timeline to complete the project, and they were all ready to go at it. Multiple students worked extra hard in their other curriculum classes so that they could spend a full school day inside the wood shop pushing the project forward. It was a really big team effort by all of the students in the class.
Is there a certain criteria to be in this class?
Like to work with your hands.
Okay. So I could do that, okay.
Who designed or like did the layout of the plan for that?
It kind of came from the construction class was currently building a 8 foot by 16 foot shed, and so we had kind of started
Adapted
framing,
that.
and then we just modified what they were already working on to flex over and become the school building. You can see there they got their safety lines and their safety harnesses on with somebody holding onto their safety line, so if anybody came loose and slid off the building, the safety line would come in and stop them.
No, do you want to see the other time? Time lapse is just 30 seconds. We can post that on the website though.
Keep it on there.
Okay.
So good. Well done.
Thank you, that was awesome. You guys, that's really, let's do it again for them, guys. I see a lot of building in your future.
You made us proud.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Appreciate it. We really do. Okay. That brings us to curriculum, my favorite. 9A, Southview Upper Elementary School grading proposal.
And I just wanted to say too, I got to go out there to watch them, and what's so neat about it too is that our summer school kids are going to go out there this summer to Friendly Town, and so they'll get to see the work that our kids did. So we got to talk to them about it, and it was just neat to see the cyclical nature of that. So it was incredible to see them out there. I have a guest star with me this evening. I'm Mary Ellen Bunton, Director of Curriculum, Robin Fluno.
Southview Upper Elementary principal. Sorry, this principal's really tired today.
So we're going to tag team a little bit here. The first thing that we're bringing to you is a grading proposal from Southview. And there is a PowerPoint that hopefully that you have access to. And basically what we're asking for is to change from standards-based grading at Southview to traditional grading. And that would help us transition the students from elementary to the whole purpose of Southview. The idea of Southview is to help the students transition from elementary to secondary. And so this is one more step in moving that forward. So we would like to transition them in a way that helps them move from standards-based grading to traditional grading that we utilize at the secondary level. So we can answer any questions that you have or go into more detail if you'd like us to, but that's ultimately what we're asking for today.
Yes, Ms. Payne. Sure.
We have to move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments?
Yeah, I was looking on the mathematics standard comparison.
Oh, yes.
Okay, now I'm a little confused. Add and subtract within 20. Within 20 what?
So what we did is we showed you the difference between the elementary. So that first example is what an elementary standard looks like. And the second example is what the standards at Southview look like. So that's why it's easier to grade, or it's easier to provide standards-based grading at the elementary level than it is at the once we get into 5th grade. The standards and the way that they're written change dramatically in 5th grade. And so it just makes it, standards-based grading is already a complex process, but when the standards get as complicated as they do by 5th grade, it makes it even more complex. So, and it just takes so much time to explain what the standard means that you lose the conversation with the parents because, or with the families, because you're spending so much time breaking down the standard and what that standard means that you lose the whole purpose of why you're doing standards-based grading in the first place. So it was just a demonstration to show the complexity of the standards.
Questions, comments? None? Wow.
Do you think parents will like this better?
Yes, I think they'll understand it easier than what they currently do.
But we're not lowering our standards.
No, they will still receive quarterly the list of standards that will be covered during that quarter in each subject area at the beginning of the quarter. So they'll know exactly what the standards are that the teachers are teaching. It's just that instead of getting a 1, 2, or 3, they'll be getting a letter grade.
Ms. Flynn, is this something that the teachers are in line behind? I mean, are they excited about this? I'm thinking that's what I've heard.
150%, yes.
Okay.
I've talked to several that are excited about this.
They're all at home watching me right now.
We should wait.
Which is, for everybody, the composition of the people that worked on this was, the committee was made up of?
It's the whole, I came from Northridge, so I had already been through this once, and several of those people had been at Northridge and had been through this once. And so we all just kind of came together. It's something they've been asking for since I became the principal. So, yeah, it's been a 2-year project.
Were they teachers? Were they
It was
administrators?
it was all of us.
Yeah.
It was a group effort. It wasn't one person. It's a joint effort.
Do you think it made a difference because you come from an elementary school teaching? Would that have some impact on?
I've been everywhere except the high school in Nobrutz. I don't want to come there. I've been an elementary teacher, I've been an elementary administrator, and I've been a middle school administrator. So I have the perspective from all areas, and I think that helps a lot. But I think when they get to be this age, they need to have more responsibility for what their grades actually are. And I think when you go to A, B, C, D, and F, I think they have the kids have more buy-in to what that means versus a 1, 2, and 3. And I think that's important for them to have that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Seeing no more questions, we're voting on Southview grading proposal. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank everybody who was involved.
Thank you all very much.
But there's more. Match the honors at Southview.
Yes, so we have one more, of these things for Southview for you this evening. And we'd like to ask for your support in the recommendation to move the MATS program from a self-contained gifted program to an honors program. And the state sort of kind of moved us in that direction by default this past year. They gave us
anyone who scored a meets or exceeds on the IAR automatically has the option of joining honors
or a gifted program. And they were going back and forth. The state was going back and forth on whether or not we were to require it or we were to encourage it. And so it got rather dicey and towards the end. So now it's optional. It is an optional thing that it is something that we can do. But it ended up being something quite fabulous for our students. And so, and Mrs. Fluno can speak to examples. So because it became such a good thing for our students, we thought that it would be something that we should ask to continue. Now that it is an optional thing, that we're not required to do it by the state. So we would like to continue to offer it as an honors program. So we'll still continue to look for students that do meet the requirements of gifted. They'll still get that within the honors program. But we will also look for students that meet those honors requirements. And it'll be just, again, another step towards moving students into that transition to Northridge, because we have honors at Northridge. And so our students that come from Mark Denman that are in the MATS program will have the opportunity to go into the honors program along with other students. And the nice thing about honors too is the flexibility that it provides to students. So that's our recommendation, or our request for recommendation.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
So the only self-contained gifted offering then will be at Mark Denman?
Yes. They'll still be together. The students will still be together at Southview, just like they are at Northridge, and it's worked really well at Northridge as well. And then they go on to whatever they need to at the high school as well.
Does this allow a student who's maybe strong in math but not in language arts to be able to be part of that honors program where maybe the self-contained would not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly what the consultants from Northwestern had suggested.
Yes.
We've seen tremendous growth. They have a race in the math class of who is going to get the furthest. And in Zern, which is part of our math curriculum, and I mean, it is a constant battle. It's an everyday thing to see who is the furthest in this program. And I mean, they've already worked to where some of them are in the middle of 7th grade of this particular program because they are going to be number one and no one's going to beat them. And these are kids that are not gifted. These are just kids that are high achieving and really stretching it and really putting a lot of effort into it. They're those honors kids.
Okay. All right, we have motion and a second for honors, MATS to honors at Southview. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
I have another guest star joining me this evening, Mr. Bretz from DHS. Now what?
Hello, sorry, I don't think I properly introduced myself last time. I'm Jacob Bretz, principal of the high school. Good evening, board, Dr. Geddes. What you have before you is a proposal from our graduation requirements committee that had representation from all departments at the high school, as well as Mrs. Halloran and Mrs. Schrader. The proposal is a return to the 44 semester credits required to graduate from Danville High School, which was the total number of credits required prior to the pandemic. There were some slight tweaks to how students get to the 44 credits, and those changes were made with the intent to give students more options through elective coursework to meet the 44 credit requirement. This proposal is very much in alignment and comparable both in the total number of credits and the number of credits required by department to other high schools of our same size and makeup, both in Central Illinois and East Central Illinois. And it does include all state graduation requirements. And this would apply to the class of 2028 and beyond. So that is the current 8th graders coming up who will be freshmen next year. All current students, class of 2025, 26, and 27 would be unaffected by this proposal.
I wanted to add something before you do a motion.
Yeah, I need a motion, please, to accept this.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
When we came to you guys before, when we asked that you let us hold the COVID requirements while we dug into this and analyzed what we really had going on, because we could no longer support many of the mandates that we had in our program. You gave us that time. It was awkward because people, oh, they're lowering the standards. No, we weren't. We absolutely just give us a minute. Let us figure out what we have going on. We are back to the same number that you gave us that we had before COVID. But now our students have the flexibility to attain those credits through, if I want to do more math, I can do more math. If I want to do more science, I can do science. If I want to do CTE, we're going to get the same number, but we've given them flexibility in how they get there. I'm not saying you have to just be in PE.
Mhm.
I'm saying you love science. Go ahead and have more science. Let's do some dual credit. Let's do some of those things. So we're back to the same number, but we've given more flexibility in how you get there. And so it was rough, and we took a lot of flack for that time that we took that pause. But I want to thank you for it, because now I do believe we offer a stronger program to our students. I just wanted to say thank you.
Yes, and that's a good point. Like the elective requirements, those can still be attained by taking, like Dr. Geddes said, more classes in the core beyond the high school-based requirements listed on the proposal in front of you. So like science, you need to pass 4 semesters. If you're going to college, you really should take 6. You take those extra 2 semesters. Those two semesters are going towards meeting your elective requirements that are listed in the proposal as well. So that's a good point. Thanks for bringing that up, Dr. Geddes.
The other thing that you can also do is that there's flexibility, and I hope as a community we get there, that you can earn internship hours through working in the various companies that we have here. I know DAC is working on some things, Vermilion Advantage is working on some things, and I truly hope that becomes a reality for our students, because they should be able to earn credits while working on the jobs here, since we have so many available. You know, Vermilion Advantage, you tell me, we have all these jobs available. Let our students go ahead and start to earn credits for those, and now with this flexibility, they can actually do that.
I just wanted to say that having started on the committee, that first of all, the way that your leadership, Mr. Bretz, was really impressive, and I appreciated it very much, and the way that it was very much a collaboration between the different departments, and we don't get to see that as the board very often, the kind of the inner side of things, and your staff came very prepared and advocating for their views, and there was so much respect across the board, and just that cross-disciplinary discussion it was very encouraging as a board member to be able to kind of peek behind the curtain and see how the exchange of ideas went, and I very much appreciated being a part of it, and appreciated the way you led the group, and I think we're just more proof that DHS is in really good hands.
Oh, thank you, and yeah, that's a good point. The teachers really were great on the committee, and while we're not looking at like changing credit numbers or anything moving forward, there still is long-term work to do in terms of departments rethinking and increasing the flexibility within each department of how students get to the minimum number of credits required for each core area to meet the total credit requirements. So we're still looking at continuing to give students more flexibility as well. You had a question, Ms. Payne?
Yeah, for the class of 2028, the requirement is 44 credits, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What does the state require?
Minimum state requirements are 26 and a half.
I feel better.
And without naming specific credit totals to specific districts, I did a comparison that Mrs. Hallen and Ms. Schrader have. I looked at Bloomington, Normal, Peoria, Champaign, Decatur, Springfield, and they're all within a range of 42 to 48 total semesters required to be passed. Now some give a half a credit per semester, some give 1 credit per semester like us. So, but speaking in terms of common language of how many semesters you must pass, all of those districts are somewhere in the 42 to 48 total credit semesters passed requirement to graduate from those high schools.
Why is it that the state is at 26?
That would be a Mrs. Bonton question.
I think it's to give, it's local control. I think it's so we can, as a community, decide what we think is important, and then determine how we want to move from there and which classes we want to give. And I'm pleased with the conversation that went on in the meetings, and the flexibility, and also the creativity of the teachers and in the departments, and how they want to move forward and how they want to offer classes to the kids. It's exciting. I'm really looking forward to the work we're going to do in the next couple years.
Pastor Miller, to piggyback on that, what we could consider doing, what some of the other big 12, 10 school districts are doing, there's what's called a minimum standard diploma, where their students have the ability of meeting just the minimum state requirements. That is a different diploma from the 44 credit diploma, because there are truly some students who just want to do that. They don't want to go into college or other things. They want to maybe do careers. And so other districts are allowing them to obtain a minimum standard diploma, and that may be something later on down the line we consider. But first we had to work out our credits before we could bring you something like that. So there's a reason why the state does that.
Okay, I like the information Dr. get us, that the students will also have that option as
We're not
we
there
move
yet.
forward.
No,
But we
we're
would
not
like to
there. Yes.
say we could consider that moving forward.
Yes.
Any other comments? We will be voting on DHS graduation requirements. Yes, the flexibility. As a science guy, though, I kind of regret the slight reduction in science, but I understand why. I mean, we have that conversation. I understand why. And the ability is there. The selling point for this is the flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
I think the flexibility is awesome, and I would think, and could correct me if I'm wrong, this might help us with some of the scheduling things, because we've had, when we are less flexible, we have the scheduling conflicts with all the electives and everything else. So this might help us out in the future, that people have another path or alternate paths to get to where they want to go.
Yeah. We
So,
just need the state to stop
yeah.
mandating.
And for those who go, oh, we're concerned about rigor. I mean, rigor. That's all we, like for 20 years we had heard. Yeah, we're concerned about it, and that's why the credits are where the credits are.
Ms. Holloran, I was waiting for you to say, I waited to the end. What about my students who want to go into the theater arts? Well, certainly now there's the flexibility that they could take other classes that would strengthen their portfolio, so that they would be prepared for colleges that focus on the theater. I gave you the whole
Thank you.
time.
You did a great job. You did a great job. And not just those in the arts, but what this reflects is the opportunity for students to be prepared for college. The minimum requirements don't require those college entrance things.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids were suffering a little bit because of that. They weren't at the same par as other kids who were applying to colleges. So this, and the flexibility and the ability to take other electives, just will really improve our kids' chances to get into schools they want to get into.
Well, there's so many different careers now that didn't exist, at least when I went to school, that the combination of classes that you need that you would want to tiptoe in to determine what those careers are, this allows for that. Whether you're going to college, whether you're going into the military,
Right.
whether you're going into trade, this allows you to experiment with those things and still get what you need for whatever path that you're going on. So, and that's what I think is exciting.
Okay, you're voting on DHS graduation requirements. For the class of 2028, roll call vote, please.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Mrs. Howard,
Yes.
Dr. Park,
Yes.
Dr. Whoever you are.
Yeah. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, but there's more.
Yes. And I think we probably should have put this one first, or maybe you'll be distracted. So this, I've already visited you once in regard to this, but this time I'm coming back and I'm asking to purchase this. We talked about how DAC is changing from Blackboard Learning to Canvas, their learning management system, and it would be important for us to kind of have a similar learning management system. We use Google Classroom. We're going to continue to use that. That could be embedded into Canvas. We also have talked about how we could use something to deliver professional development to our staff that would allow our staff to do some professional development, on their own. So we could build it and then they could do it either in their classrooms or on their own time, not as we would work out with them. But we need something to kind of do all those things. And then eventually we would like to be able to offer virtual classes to our students that are built by our teachers and delivered by our teachers, that's really why we want to do this. So we still have some of our lovely grant money. It's as Mrs. Truex keeps letting us know, it's dwindling and leaving us. And so as it's leaving us, we'd like to make this big purchase because it costs a lot of money when you first get it, and then it's not quite as much as time goes on. But we'd like to use that grant funding to purchase Canvas to kind of experiment with it. I put a timeline on here. And then that would be $99,960 to purchase it, and we would use grant funding to do that. And that would pretty much take us through the end of she calls it my money, that we have to use to.
What would that number again?
$99,960 to purchase
Okay, for that part.
Canvas.
I was just gonna say for that, because we need that part of the motion, so.
Yeah. And that's actually for longer than a year. It's like 15 months, so we could use it over the summer and then for a full school year.
Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion, a second. Any questions or comments?
Will DAC have their system up for the fall?
We hope so. I mean, they're planning to, so we're hoping so. I mean, it's just like anything.
I love the idea of our own teachers being able to put together virtual classes and that we host for our students. It's just so much more local control. It edifies our teachers, our staff gets different opportunities, and I really appreciate that about the platform.
After the first 15 months of the 99, that big figure, how much?
They haven't, it looks like there's a subscription fee that's on there. I didn't write that part down.
I think you told me, isn't it, it's like 35 or 37,000.
Yeah, it's significantly less, very manageable after that, and we would eventually get to use it district-wide, which allows us to put it as a set-aside in title, which is nice. So that's really manageable for something like that. So, but in a year or so, it'll be a bit more accurate price than to guess at it now.
Okay.
So, but that would be just to manage it. This has like training costs and all that kind of stuff in it right now. So, and to get it all set up. And it's been vetted by my good friend in IT. She's helped.
Would this eliminate the difficulty that our dual enrollment students are having accessing the stuff for DAC?
Yeah, we think so. We hope so. We're doing everything we can to kind of eliminate that. But Blackboard that they're using is the very old version of it because they knew that they were going to move to a new learning management system. But it's like diagnosing anything. I mean, you can guess at it, but hopefully it'll be better this year. So we'll see. We've got lots of things that we're doing to try to fix that.
How much training is involved with our staff?
Well, we're gonna take one for the team in our office, which is what we usually do. So we're gonna learn how to use it first, and then we'll figure out what that looks like. And then we've got a few teachers at DHS that are really excited about this, and then they'll be the next ones. They're going to start to try to build some classes. So I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. I'm excited about trying it. I love to build PD, and Nicole does as well, and so does Angela. Julie and Sarah will. Yeah, but Brian will be. I mean, I've got the right people in my office to figure this out. So we'll figure it out first, and then we'll go from there. Once we have a few people that know how to do it like ourselves, it usually goes better because typically we like to teach each other rather than have companies come in, but sometimes we have to have the companies come in.
Okay. So before you is a motion for purchase of canvas for the price of
$99,960.
Sounds like, that's just under.
I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't want to
Of
say
course it is.
$100,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes. Good luck with Canvas.
Thank you.
Hope you learn it. That
My
brings us
number
to
is so much smaller.
Yeah.
Just saying. Putting that out there.
10A, cooperative agreement between Vermillion Association for Special Education and District 118.
Yes, good evening, Board and Dr. Gaddis. Lindsay Nixon, Assistant Director of Special Education. At the beginning of the school year, with the board's blessing, the Special Education Department entered into an agreement with Vermillion Association for Special Education for their audiology services. Since that time, their audiologist has resigned, but they have secured another one, and so we just need to come back to the board and renegotiate that agreement. It is cheaper than the original cost. It will be $22,000. That covers half of the salary and benefits, comes out of the IDEA grant funds.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Effective when?
Immediately. We use those services for special education students with 504 plans who have a moderate to severe, hearing loss. So we use their services quite a bit.
Isn't very often the price goes down.
Right. I was so happy to follow Mrs. Button. Love you.
Okay, so you have before you agreement for is it 22,000?
Yes.
Yeah, for approximately
yeah.
$22,000.
And it's, half the salary and benefits that we
Okay.
split with base.
Roll call vote, please.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That brings us to 11, school supplies. Everybody needs school supplies.
For a little more than $99,000, but we'll get through it. No. Good evening, Board. Dr. Geddes, Chris Rice, Director of Early Learning, and this evening I would like to recommend for your approval the opportunity to provide kindergarten through 12th grade students backpacks with school supplies. Supplies being purchased are designed to last students the entire school year. Kits would be shipped to buildings and be ready for students on the first day of the 24-25 school year. In the past, we've utilized this company with Edison, Mead Park, and our McKinney-Vento students, and we've had a lot of success. The total cost, if approved, would be $247,948.54. This would be for 5,000 student kits at an average price of $49.60 per kit. If approved, this would be paid for with Title I funds.
So move.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second for this School supplies, any questions or comments?
Did you say backpacks?
Backpacks with school supplies.
Are they clear?
Yes.
I just wondered.
What we found out during COVID, we received a large number of school supplies from our partners with Myers. And we actually had some left over for the new school year. And when we were able to give them to our parents and took that burden off them, they were so grateful. So we were like, well, why can't we just continue to do this? We had the Title I funds. Let's make it so when we just need you to show up the first day of school. We've taken care of the Board of Education is taking care of the supplies. Let's all get ready to go. And so the team went out, found the kit supplier. We tested it out a little bit before we brought it to you. And we think it'll be a phenomenal support to our families.
The book bags, like for the high school, if they break or tear, do we replace all the way down?
We've ordered a lot of extra kits. I think we'll be able to accommodate a few of the situations. Plus, students, that obviously move in throughout the course of the school year, and then we can always hit Mrs. Truex up for some more funds as we go
Are
from
they
there.
able to bring their own book bags if they would like, or are we required?
As long as they meet those requirements, yeah, or the criteria of the book bag.
And when we replace them, we wouldn't give them another book bag with all of the supplies.
Right.
We
Right,
would
just the book bags.
Yeah.
So are we requiring the clear book bags K through 12 now?
Yes.
No.
That's what I'm
At
asking.
high school.
No.
High school, Northridge.
Northridge.
Works, Denman.
Southview.
So,
No.
They're not using clear. Work, Denman, Northridge, the high school.
so if you're not in those schools and your student breaks it and you go buy one, you're okay.
You're fine.
I'm just
Yes.
wanting to clarify.
Thank you for that. Because no, we're not mandating book bags outside of what the Board of
No,
Education
that's
has
coming.
given us permission to. Yep.
Setting new policies here. Thank you very much. Disregard that. Yes?
I have a question. So every year in the spring, they put out a school supply list.
Yes.
So there's not really a reason to do that. And are we gonna let the parents know in a timely manner?
Correct. So what we did with this company is all of the schools provided their school supply list to this company, and they've compiled it and they created this EduKit based on what we provided them for our schools and what students needed. So yes, we'll get the word out there that parents won't be responsible for that, or there's not the need to put out those lists anymore.
How does this work with the high school? There's so many different electives and so many different classes. How does that work with their backpack?
Yeah, I think Mr. Bretz has additional sometimes not fees, but supplies depending on the class that students are taking that may request some things above and beyond what normal school supplies are. Am I right, Mr. Bretz?
Yeah. We. So one, I think we found a backpack that won't break as often. That's higher quality, and two, what I requested for our backpacks was organizational tools. So we've noticed, especially with the clear backpacks and the weapon detection system, lots of students are using binders. I think it's actually a product of Avid and the kids coming up. Like, so many kids have binders, so everybody will get a binder tabs for organization, paper, highlighters, and then writing utensils. Essentially, I coordinated with our Avid site team leader on what would be like basically the Avid organizational starter pack for a high school student, and so that's what will go into each backpack for each high school student.
Right.
Will you contact some of the area groups that have backpack drives, and there are a number that do that?
Yeah, we have a lot of community organizations that have assisted and been a community support for sure. So,
You'll let them know that,
Yep.
that wouldn't be necessary this year? Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, you have before you school supplies, backpacks, whatever else. For the fee of $247,948.54. Will this be, business people and budget people, a budgeted item as we go forward, or are we going to be able to sustain this program if we so decide?
That's
Currently,
correct.
it's out of the grant, and we can
Title
write it in annually.
Okay.
It's a,
That's one of my concerns is, oh yeah, we're coming out of this and funding and then all of a sudden, well, I mean, I hope we don't have to pull it. I mean, it's a great idea and yeah, I think it's wonderful. And
but to Ms. Corley's point, I want to reiterate, we are not changing board policy. The only people required to have backpacks, those who have been required by the Board of Education. While we are providing clear backpacks, we are not changing board policy to make it mandated in any other building.
let me make that perfectly clear.
Mhm.
Of course, your mic wasn't on, but that's okay. Mine will pick it up for you. I know. Yeah, I do. I haven't aimed
My
at
mic is
her.
never on.
You can't, I've checked the previous video, you can't hear you very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
need to
on
keep your
purpose.
mic up.
So she
You're
never
on
said
now.
it. All right. So you know what you're voting for, board of school supplies. If there's no, any other questions, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Corley? Ms. Corley?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passed 7-0. Thank you. Early learning, 12.
Yes. Next up on our agenda is to give you an update on our Grow Your Own program. Currently, we have, and I've passed a little diagram out to you guys that's going around, 24 students in our Grow Your Own program who are working towards their degrees in various areas that can come back to District 118. We have 4 students currently working towards their early childhood degrees, 1 social worker, 7 students going into secondary education, 3 into elementary education, 1 into special education, 2 into art, 3 school psychologists, 2 in music, and 1 physical education teacher. Keep in mind that we started this with the cohort, the 2021 graduates from DHS. So what that means is at the end of next year, we will have 2 students returning to our district, looking for a teaching position. And the following year, we will have 16 students coming back to fill vacancies and to get started in 118. So you're starting to see the success of this program coming around, and the next few years should be very exciting. What I'd like to ask for your approval this evening is to offer this one final time to the class of 2024 for this cohort, so they can have the same opportunity to participate in this, fill some vacancies, and we can get this group through before the grants funds dissipate the next few years.
So move.
Second.
Third.
Okay, they have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
When you said one final time, what did you mean by that? Is this something that you would not recommend we continue if we could
I would
afford
like to
it?
continue it forever, but like all things, some of our grant funds and sources of being able to provide these opportunities are coming to an end. So we know if we can take the class of 2024, that would be a group to get them through, and then once that would put us. We have a lot of questions and students that are interested in this. I've met with several parents that have learned from the program from Dr. Geddes' meeting with seniors, and they're interested in taking this opportunity, and that would really put us up close to 35 to 40 students taking advantage of that in our program. So over a 4 or 5 year period, once this first class comes at the end of next year, it's a pretty good number of students coming back to work in our district and back in our community. So it'll be a good thing.
Will you look for other funding sources?
We will. We talk about that all the time, Mrs. Rankin and I, Dr. Geddes. It's always our hopes to come back and offer that, to the continuing classes. We also hope that we fill so many positions that there's a year where we have no vacancies to offer programs. Wishful thinking, but we'll see. But it's a good start.
Well, we're going to vote for 2024 right here. So if there aren't any other questions, you're voting on Grow Your Own for 2024 cohort. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Thank
very
you.
much. Okay, let's see. 13A. Extracurricular positions.
Good evening, Board and Dr. Geddes. Thank you for voting for that Grow Your Own program. One of the vacancies coming up from the class of 2024 will be mine 4 years from now. So somebody can fill that one willingly for me. I love my job, but it'll be perfect timing. We'll have somebody back.
Wow.
Maybe. I might keep working. You never know. Here to discuss with the extracurricular committee, myself, the DEA members in the room are on the committee. We've been meeting since the contract has been ratified, and our goal is always on this committee is to provide as many opportunities for our students through extracurriculars. One of the big tasks, as you guys know, because we've talked about this last year, we've talked about it again this year, is to clean up our current list. We've been going through that, and then we're looking to add more opportunities and some new things, but also to foster what's been going on already in some of these cases that you'll see here tonight, that the work has been done and it hasn't been compensated for. So this is the first list that we're gonna bring to you guys today for the first reading. For Skills USA. Skills USA is CTE. We saw the benefits of the CTE program today with Friendly Town. This is a competition statewide, district-wide, and nationally where students in the CTE program will be able to go out and compete. Secondly is the MTSS Building Leaders. This would be district-wide, and MTSS stands for Multi-Tier System of Supports, and this is to help all learners with some interventions. And that program, from my understanding, the way it's been presented to us, is to catch kids. Some of the programs of interventions are set up once we find out the kids have failed or they're falling behind, that the intervention then kicks in. And this one kicks in early. There's multi-tiers, there's multi-testing, there's multi-assessments, and it hopefully catches kids before that warning sign is shown to us all. The third one is AAC implementation, and that's also district-wide. This is for augmented and alternative communication forms for students that don't use speech as their main form of communication or struggle with speech. This would be through technology. This would be through drawings, apps, iPads, computer programs. This would help there. A robotics club at DHS. Currently, ROTC has, the Army has generously donated thousands and thousands of dollars of robotics equipment for our students to build robots that go out and then compete. It's like they battle each other, or the robots battle each other, I'm sorry. And this would be to compensate a sponsor to go ahead and do that. And of course, this gets into the STEM, the science, the technology, the engineering, the mathematics. Madrigals, which is currently being done, and it has been done for a number of years here in the district. This would compensate the Madrigals director for time being allocated towards that. A show choir assistant. This one, the sheer number of show choir kids that are involved creates some logistical nightmares when they're at competitions, when the director is on the stage, and there's other groups that are not being supervised, as well as this helps throughout the year, plan the program, rehearse, implement, teach. But this one is a numbers game and a safety thing, we believe, the committee. And then last but not least on this list is Winter Guard. It's a continuation of Color Guard. Color Guard ends in the fall. This brings it indoors for the winter and allows the kids who love to do that and be a part of the Color Guard to go year round. So these are all the first readings for it. Obviously, we'll be back for approval.
Okay.
All right, next, I think I'm B as well. So the athletic trainer position, we've talked about that here before as well. And the change to the job description here or to this is the big change is that we're part of what we just talked about, the cleanup of the extracurriculars. We're removing that position, the trainer's position, from the extracurricular and making it a full-time position. Before it fell under the extracurriculars, this we're moving to a full-time position. And then we cleaned up some of the language. The last time that the job description was updated, I think, was 94, if I remember right. It might have been just a little bit before that. 84? Well, 94, okay. And so we just brought it up to speed, and so that's also the first reading there before you.
Okay.
All right.
Any questions tonight for, if not, he'll be back.
We'll be back.
When we, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get it right for the next meeting.
94, 92, but it was older. It was definitely older. Good evening, board. I'm Kim Papps, Director of Human Resources. And the first thing I have tonight is the summer student hiring program. This would be our second year that we would want to offer this. And for those graduating seniors of this year, a lot of them have already met, if not all of them, with Dr. Geddes and Ms. Robinson. And we are offering for those, we'd like to offer for those that are pursuing careers or degrees in teaching, culinary, technology, trades, arts, summer employment like we did last year. This would be at a maximum of 300 working hours between June and July, $14 an hour. And it would be either with Mrs. Mary Ellen Button through teaching, technology would be with Mrs. Hummel, custodial work would be with Mr.
Oldfield.
I think it would be with Seth Oldfield, and culinary with Mrs. Zeta Peugeot. So those are again what we did. It's what we did last summer. We'd like to do that again this summer for students that are graduating this year with interest in these areas.
Move to approve.
Second.
How many students?
Any questions?
Well, right now we're looking for, I know with the teaching positions, we sit around 10 students, about 5, a little more maybe for technology, around 4 for custodial work, and then Miss Seta said she'll take as many as she can get.
Yeah, that's what I like that.
So approximately, we're looking for about between 25, 30 students if we could get them.
And the difficulty is they know I've committed way over that number.
Uh-huh.
Baby, you want to work? Come on in. This comes as a result of my meetings with the seniors. And so I keep recruiting. So Alan is looking at me like, okay, Geddes. I keep saying, yes, that baby can put some computers together. Go ahead and give it a job. So,
Mr. Rivers,
I
you got
appreciate
to work
how-
with some of those students last year, didn't you?
It was a good experience for
See?
them.
There you go.
A lot of them we had some that actually worked past
Yep.
the deadline up until when school started, except for a couple that actually went away to college. And there were some that wanted to keep working once school started, but we didn't do that. But yeah, a lot of them really did well.
Do the students have to apply?
they did. They filled out an application. But I discovered them in the midst of meetings. Like, baby, what are you doing for summer?
Every week, a couple more kids showed up. Like, who are you?
Don't worry about it.
Dr. Geddes said I should come for a job. Thank you, team.
Okay, so before we use summer student hiring program, yes, if we have someone who, especially art students, who want to work, gee, let's facilitate, right? Let's facilitate that. And it's useful for everybody. So I think it's a great start. Any other questions or comments? If not, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Ms. Banks?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Corbin?
Yes.
Mr. Park?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question, even though I'm bold to sword. How are you going to get the word out to students that this is available?
Dr. Geddes and Ms. Robinson meet with
I
all
met
of the
with every
students.
single one of them and put the word
Every
out.
single one. They might not know they're interested in this, but they're going to be interested real soon.
They were when I finished with it.
We actually had a couple that did both.
We
that
did.
Worked as like a TA for part of the time and worked in the technology department.
And we had some who they did the summer school, and when summer school was over, they came over to the buildings and grounds. Yep, good job. Thank you, Alan. for reminding me.
13D.
Okay,
Ooh,
the
that's
next one we have is a memorandum of agreement, and this is between us at Denver District 118 and the DEA, and this is for our high school teachers who are looking to pursue content specific dual credit certificates so that they can come back and teach at the high school the dual credit courses. We as a district would then be paying for them to go and take these courses. And I have Mebs up here with us, Miss Button as well, because she knows a lot more about the program than I do. But we currently have one very, very interested high school staff member who keeps asking when can we start, and a couple others that are very interested as well. So this would allow our staff, the teachers at the high school, to teach the dual credit courses at the high school. Anything you want to add? That's basically it.
And there is a slight cost.
There is a slight cost
attached to this, shall we mention?
So the cost per teacher should approximately be around $15,000, but it depends on how many credits they have already. It shouldn't exceed that, but it may go up to that piece.
Okay.
And that's looking at classes, whether it's U of I, Eastern, ISU. We took the highest credit course and came up with that number. Yeah. I like to say we did all the research, but the teacher that's really begging for it did a lot of the research for us.
Yeah.
So that's the highest that we got. I
May
think that was 9 credit courses was the highest that we should have to pay for it.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
I have several seconds. Any questions or comments?
I'm curious on what class it would be. Do you know?
So it's any dual, it can be any dual enrollment class. So like we've got a teacher at the high school that's interested in offering dual enrollment psychology. So then he works with the department over at DAC, the head of that department, and then the provost. And they work together. They come up with a plan of which classes he would need to be certified. He has 3 years to get those classes done. And then when he gets to a certain point, then he's allowed to start teaching those classes before he's even completed with getting his plan done. And then we can offer, so we're starting then to teach our students dual enrollment. I'm getting tired. We're starting to get, then we can teach those classes to our students with our teachers.
So do we still keep AP Psych and
Oh
dual
yeah,
enrollment Psych?
oh yeah, just like normal, yeah.
Okay.
So.
That's exciting to me. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. This
them
is
here.
great, yeah. And it helps DAC too.
Okay. We're voting on memorandum of agreement for, let's say, dual enrollment, but, yeah. Yeah, school teachers and dual enrollment. Price tag, up to 15,000 per teacher, okay? And if there aren't any other questions or comments, I'll take a roll call vote, please.
Dr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corbin?
Yes.
Mrs. Tyler?
Yes.
Other part?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Go dual enrollment. Wildly popular in the state tax hall. That brings us to 13E, which is I will make a motion to approve the resolution for the dismissal of educational support personnel employee Amy Michelin for reasons other than reduction in force effective immediately. May I have-
Second.
And I have now a second. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corbin?
You have a question, Ms. Corley?
I do. I do.
Well, what is it?
I don't remember the situation.
Ms. Babs? As best you can.
I'm sorry, I don't.
It's okay. As best you can.
In open?
She's a board member. She had a question and she has to vote. So if you just
I'm
questions.
sorry, I don't want to vote yes if I don't know.
Just
Right.
right to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Kim Paps, Director of Human Resources. Tonight we're voting on a termination for an employee due to job performance.
And if you want to table it, go into closed session, come back out, because
Mhm.
it is personnel, and we can come back out and vote. You have the right.
I would like
Yes.
to do that because I do not remember the situation and I do not want to vote without knowing.
Okay. We're
Sorry.
gonna go into closed sessions for the purpose of personnel.
Mhm.
Do we need everybody to go?
We can, I mean.
Okay. We will be back in about
Back.
3 minutes,
Sorry.
4 minutes. Okay.
Because of you. Closed session over which item? That's the personnel.
Oh, that?
Yes.
Oh.
I know, right? Oh, that's true. Oh, that's too funny.
Oh, there, are we still being recorded?
Hi, how are you doing? Hey, I know you're tired.
It was obvious.
Yeah, for early risers.
What's the name of that company you're doing? They building a restroom break.
It's an intermission.
They building a restroom break. No, I'm not
And I was
talking
just
about
telling John, I was like, I thought my terminations were complicated.
That one word.
You check all the boxes, and fill out the forms, and you have to meet with the union.
No, I think there's gonna be some, I'll get it, like, that will show you, it's like getting a big award right now.
She's still going in circles waiting on it to run out of gas.
No, she shut it off.
I know, right? So much excitement today. Talk to me about
That
yourself.
person retired there, and then they hired someone, fine, and so they, she took it from that, and that's the hospital. So it got someone else that's, what's part-time now, so I think from that, it was sort of already for the most part, so, and it's a, free service for all of them.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time.
Hey, yours, I pulled over, right? There's more on it. But they do change.
I wonder why.
Exactly.
Hey, Chris, as Dr. Gator said, that did start during the pandemic. They were buying some of them and then they realized.
Park and Edison, and we were utilizing them with, so it really did handy, those kids came on the first day, if they already had their kids at school waiting on them, versus if they got supplies like registration. By the time the first day of school rolled around, they were, supplies were all over the place.
So what's the, grant we're using for it here?
It's our Title I funds.
Title I. That's kind of like what
patient when did you show us the first time?
And I'm like, you grow your own, that's not gonna run.
So it's more like a one stop.
Got a few years left.
Good.
Good call.
Heard it has a bat.
Oh my God, that cookie was delicious.
Okay, we are coming back from closed session, back to open session to entertain the motion that was just put forward on employee dismissal. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. Brings us to buildings and grounds. Not that I'm interested, I just left something in them.
No.
Should I wait? Yeah.
It's his first one.
You know how to clear a room.
I know. I can go or wait for him.
Did he say, what did he say?
He forgot something in the other room.
Oh, he didn't tell us to go, did he? No.
I'll wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh. Good evening, Dr. Geddes and the board. My name's Tyler Weinbrenner, Assistant Director of Buildings and Grounds. I'm here for you guys to accept the bid of Midwest Asphalt Company for the Jackson Admin Building parking lot. They were the lowest of three companies with a bid of $235,777.
The recommendation in front of you for Midwest Asphalt Company.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
That's a big,
company.
Yes,
and that's a big difference
yes. Oh, are you looking
With
at
the
it?
prices.
in the
Yes.
prices from the first bid to the.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hang on, Mrs. Corley, when you see some of these bids.
Yeah.
You'll see, I'm surprised we didn't have one for $1,272,000, just in case. Yeah, I know. My father, the contractor, said, you know, sometimes they take it, so.
Yep.
But, yes. So, you have before you for Midwest Asphalt, $235,777, recommendation that we accept that bid. Any other questions or comments? If see none, roll call vote, please.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Okay. Next. What is next? Oh,
Asbestos.
asbestos
I got two
abatement.
more. I got two more.
Yeah. We got more. Yeah, we got a B and a C, so hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But he's hot, he got one through.
Yeah.
So-
I'm batting 1,000. Let's see. All right. The next is the asbestos abatement project for KDBA. I'm in front of you for you to accept the bid of Midway Contracting Group. They were the lowest of three bids with $57,500.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any question or comments about Midway Contracting Corp. Group from Orland Park?
I may be
Orland.
tired. Did you say 57,000?
Yes.
Did you mean
50
34?
Yeah.
You meant-
Because it says
34,500.
Sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, KDBA is 34,500. Sorry.
Okay.
I have another one.
That's okay. I thought I was looking at it wrong.
Move to approve.
Unless it's already happened.
Second.
Did we mess up?
I was with you though. I was,
I thought
I put the
It's
wrong
actually
one.
the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the next one.
Could I ask you a question? Just
Yes.
sort of my ignorance. Asbestos removal, it wasn't part of the original renovation.
No,
bids.
so all asbestos removal is the owner's obligation to get rid of. So it's our cost. And then we had to do it at this time to save us the most money.
Because
On where we're at in the construction process.
Uh-huh.
So in order to have school and stuff, so once this is approved, then as soon as school's out on the last day,
I see.
they're gonna be
Okay.
in there.
It's a summer
removing-
project.
Yes.
I see.
It's
Okay.
as soon as school's out.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Where is the
So it's the
asbestos?
installation on the piping.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Okay, so you have in front of you for KDBA,
Yes.
Midway Contracting Group from Orland Park for $34,500. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Corbin,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader,
Yes.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Howard,
Yes.
Ms. Payne. Yes. Dr. Ashton.
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Now,
The next one's Northeast. I'm up for you to accept the bid from Midway Contracting Group of Orland Park they were the lowest of three bids of $57,500.
So move.
Second.
have a motion and a second. Questions or comments about this?
Same group, right?
It's the same group and it's the same piping.
Why is
Right.
it so much more?
It's more. So at
Larger area.
larger area. There's just more of the piping they have to get rid of in Northeast than KDBA.
Are our children?
No, so
We haven't touched it, so
Yeah.
now that when they go away for the summer, they're done.
Okay.
Then we'll
Yeah.
touch it and move it. That's why we left. You leave it alone. Many of these old schools have asbestos in it,
That's the
particularly
key
in the
that
floor.
we need to hear. We leave
Yeah.
it
Yes.
alone,
We
it's
leave it
fine.
alone.
It's when we start messing with it,
Yeah.
it gets
yeah,
dangerous.
so
And we
that's
don't
why
touch
we
it
have
till
to
they're
wait
gone.
until the students are gone, and then it's a huge process of making
Okay.
containment and all that.
And that's why it costs $57,500.
Yes.
Because we're not just putting it in our garbage bags.
And it can be done before the start of the school year.
Yeah, so it's going to be done as soon as they're out of school. This company will go in and do it, so the rest of the construction can be
Can
finished.
continue. Okay.
For $57,000, it can't take that long either. This isn't that big of a thing.
Yeah.
Is it the hot water pipes?
Yes, it's the radiator pipes and stuff.
Okay.
And we usually don't insulate the cold water.
Well, I didn't know what the stuff was. I just knew it's around the pipes, and I wasn't sure.
Good question.
Okay.
And
Wait, we
I'm sorry, I do have one more because my daughter did get. Anyway, in the bathroom, so we're gonna recover these pipes, right?
No, they're getting removed.
New pipes.
Yeah, new
So
pipes.
they
and
won't be
everything.
on
So,
the,
No,
for example, in the bathroom in the girls in the northeast.
yeah,
Okay,
the-
so
the-
they'll just be gone.
yes, they'll be gone.
Fantastic.
So we have to
Thank you.
remove the insulation to get rid of the pipes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? And you're voting for Northeast with Midway Contracting Group from Orland Park for $57,500. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Schrader,
Yes.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Ms. Payne.
Yes.
Mrs. Howard,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Corbin,
Yes.
Dr. Ashton.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. Business. Now.
Nice job, Mr. Weinberg.
Okay, good evening, board. Dr. Geddes, D118 family. I am Narcissus Rankin, Director of Business and Finance. And this evening, I am here for the business office and the special ed office. I am asking that the board sign a resolution for the establishment of a student activity fund for the Viking Perks So I know we've had some conversation about the Viking Perks, but I just want to remind you guys that it is the coffee shop that is a student-run business. We need an account open in order to facilitate the full program, from ordering supplies to taking orders and having a point of sale system that requires us to have a bank account in order for the people to, use their cards when they're purchasing coffee. The coffee shop is ran by our vocational students, and so that's part of the preparing them for work. So, yep, point of sale system requires an account to be linked for card transactions to automatically be sent to the bank account. So this evening, it is our recommendation that you authorize the establishment of the Viking Perks Student Activity Fund.
So
Move to
moved.
approve. Second then.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the resolution or the establishing of the Student Activity Fund Viking Perks, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what we're looking for. Questions or comments? Sounds good. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Strader?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Gordon?
Yes.
Dr. Ashley?
Yes, motion
Thank
passes
you.
7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Informational items,
Can I combine?
please do.
Okay, all right.
I don't even know why we have different things on here. We'll get rid of that.
So, I'm gonna do information. So I wanna, thank our DHS graduating seniors. This is year 3 that I was able to meet with each and every one of them. It is truly a labor of love, but they have a lot of energy. We were able to go over and confirm plans after graduations that include anything from college, careers, military. I want to thank EIU, DAC, and U of I for providing me with some resources to give the students. DAC for facilitating the career conversations. There's a booklet that we were able to give the students about jobs in our area. I sent them home, and they had to meet with their parents and circle the jobs that they were interested in. And so now we need to go back and do those resumes and get those to them so that I can deliver them to Vermilion Advantage. We completed FAFSAs, DAC applications, scholarship applications. I really now would like to know, DAC, over the last 3 years, what your enrollments look like, and specifically the number of D118 students that are coming to DAC, because my numbers on my piece of paper look great. I just want to make sure it translated to yours. I want to thank Ms. Griffin for sitting with me to actually support the process. When I got to her students, she sat through to see exactly what the process was so that she was able to emulate it. I do appreciate that. So they're ready, right? But going forward, there's much more that I need to learn. I realize that I have some gaps. I can get you here, I can get you to college, I can do that, but I need to learn about, I have a number of students who wanted to go into the airlines, and I didn't quite know how to facilitate that for them. A few of them wanted cosmetology, and while we once had a school here, we don't. And there are some hiccups as it relates to them getting to the college in Champaign. Trade intern access, it's not, when you go into the trades and your journeyman, is that it, journeyman? Many of our students want to get into the trades, and I've tried for the last couple of years. I had a contact, but it's not translating into it actually happening for our students. So if anyone out there can help me with that. And then special education services for our students beyond K-12. Many of them need support as they go into work and they go into school and higher ed. And I realize there's some gaps that we need to fill, and I just don't know how to do it yet, so I'm open to that. Thank you, Ms. Robinson, for being there with me and push, because I was tired. And she's like, nope, you need to be here at 9 o'clock and get here now. So Jill Sargent was really on top of it, and I appreciate it. Just so that you know, grow your own. These 24 students that we have now, actually 2 of them are coming back. One of them is on our agenda tonight. She is now a special ed student, Ms. Rebecca Furborn, and 2 of them are going to be hired. That resulted from these conversations year 1. From that year 1, you allowed me to go back 2 years to get those students. That's how we have such a big cohort. Right now, as Chris said, we do expect that we have approximately 40 kids in the pipe. as a result of you giving me the leeway and the flexibility to kind of step out of the traditional superintendent duties to go in and have these conversations with the kids. And I greatly appreciate them. Appreciate it. It also resulted in our summer hires, as Mr. Allen Rivers has said. And thank you for the additional flexibility to hire more of the babies as I discover them in the parking lots. So I really do appreciate it, and I want to say thank you, Board of Education, and thank you, Amy, for making sense of my notes and putting it together to get the letters out to the parents, because this year we added the component of summarizing the conversations and getting them back to the parents, like this is what we talked about, doesn't match what you know, and if I missed something, come back and let me know. So we tried to add that to the process, and yeah, that was a learning curve. So I'll do better with that next year. But thank you, Board of Education, for that flexibility. I certainly appreciate it. Okay, moving on. Congratulations to Danville High School students on their 5th place finish in the Big 12 Conference track and field meet. The team was led by Demario Jackson, who won both the 100-meter and 200-meter races. The DHS girls track placed an impressive 3rd place at the Big 12 Conference meet. Nakia Shields has 3 wins, and Gabriela Huerta won both the high jump and the 4x200. Did I say that right? Meter relay. Shout out to the DHS JROTC archery team. They placed 2nd in the nation in the 3D competition, and 3D is new to us. And they placed 2nd in the nation. They are 4th in the nation in bullseye. So great job to the team. Good job, First Sergeant, in getting our kids ready. The district's 4th graders have been visiting Southview to meet key staff and take a tour of the building as they get ready to go into 5th grade. Shout out to the Southview Orchestra and Band. They both received a rating of 1 at the IESA organizational contest. 1 is the highest rating. And then hot off the presses, DHS's girls track team has state qualifier. Oh, I missed it. Yep, I got those babies. Okay. DHS has qualifiers in the high jump, triple jump, 110 hurdles, 4x100 relay, and the 4x200 relay. And that, did somebody win?
We're just checking. No, well, we're waiting on the 300 hurdles. We should have another qualifier in the 300 hurdles, but I was hoping that was in before we left, but it's not.
Great job. Thank you.
Okay, let's go left to right.
Okay, first I want to give kudos to the building trades class. That was quite a task they took on, and it turned out very well. Thank you for Medicine, Kenneth Bailey, and Liberty for your newspapers. Always enjoy reading them. Since the last board meeting, I toured Southview Middle School. I haven't really been in there since forever, and I taught there 15 years. It's kind of like going back home. I was impressed by the building. There have been a lot of positive changes, and I try not to be involved in the passing period at whatever school I go to. But I just kind of flattened myself on the wall. But they had a line in the middle, and the kids were walking as they should. They weren't loud. They weren't silent, but they weren't overboard. So I enjoyed that. I attended the JROTC honors program at somewhere, Willow Barn.
That's right.
Right, okay. I've never really been keen or knew anything about ROTC, but I've been to 2 events, and I'm very impressed. And I didn't know that the Danville archery team was basically made up of the ROTC students, so I was impressed. The staff appreciation day at Turtle One, that was great. I can't tell you how many teachers, TAs, people stopped by and said that they thought that was the best staff appreciation they've ever attended. So kudos to Dr. Geddes and Ms. Robinson for getting it together. Thank you.
I'd just like to really thank Dr. Geddes and her efforts with taking the time with all of our high school seniors and getting them ready to be a part of college or the workforce. And then I'm really excited about the opportunity for them also through our district to have jobs. This summer, we know that there's been a real lack of summer jobs over the years for our young people once they're out for the school. So this will absolutely give them opportunity to work, make some money, and get some training. And so I'm very excited to know that our district is helping in those areas also. So again, to all of our staff, everyone that has been working extremely hard this year, teachers, administrators, all of our board members, again, I'm just glad to be a part of District 118.
All of the above. But I would also just like to share a short little story. Well, first of all, I want to thank all the students in their end of the year programs that they're doing. They're very impressive. The kids that are involved, it's amazing. I had the opportunity to go to the high school play Catch Me If You Can, the musical. I struck up a conversation at intermission with a couple behind me that I didn't know who they were. Turns out they were from Urbana. They read about it in the News Gazette, and they make a habit of going around to different high schools' productions. Afterwards, they got my attention again and said, this was not a high school production. There are kids on that stage that could go to Broadway tomorrow. They were so impressed, and they said that they were committed to not ever miss another production that Danville High School does, and that's pretty impressive. So I just wanted to share that because that meant a lot. The kids were fantastic. The teachers involved were fantastic, and so kudos especially to them.
I wanted to just thank Dr. Geddes again, everyone involved with the Grow Your Own, and I wanted to also say that earlier years, Mrs. Gladys Davis this was her passion project. So every time I think about Grow Your Own, I think about Mrs. Davis and how happy this has to make her. Just, it's just she never let a week go by where she wasn't talking to us about Grow Your Own. Where's our Grow Your Own? So yeah, I'm really happy. I'm happy for the kids in the district, but I'm also kind of happy for her. I was also at the JROTC commissioning, and that was something else. And what Sergeant Powell would have said, what he did say, and Kim, you can help me with this, is that they didn't have an overall award. We took second and fourth, but we were the only team in the nation that if they had combined our overall scores, we would have been number one. And so I suppose that probably next year they'll have an overall award because he was pretty feisty about that. And then also, and you're going to have to help me with her name, we have the number 3 archer in the nation goes to DHS. Her name is she's number 1. Okay.
I'll get to it.
Okay. All right. Well, Kim's going to tell you her name. And this young lady, she not just is an excellent athlete and archer, and she's now part of their staff for next year with the Danville's JROTC. She helped train her peers, and you could see that there were people that really owed a lot to her, and they were placing, and they were doing really well. And so we're not just raising athletes and musicians, we're raising leaders here in our district, and all of our teachers are doing that. But I just want to shout out Sergeant Powell because it was a great sight to behold. And he did include non-JROTC students as well. So there were he called them cadet and the names of these 2 young women, but because he wanted to use that as an introduction to JROTC, he had opened that up. And there's a feeder program now in Northridge to an archery feeder program to help the JROTC program. So if you see him, just give him a little pat on the shoulder because he's doing great things there, and he jumped in the middle of the year and deserves a lot of credit. And those kids deserve a lot of credit. Amazing leaders. And the last thing is just we're in the home stretch. Study hard for your finals, kids, and we're going to get over the finish line.
I also want to applaud Dr. Geddes and Sister Robinson for the work that they're doing with the seniors. I also want to applaud the seniors because I was able to attend on last night's awards celebration of the scholarships out at DAC. And it was a young lady, her last name was Crawford.
Nia.
She took away the majority of the scholarships. I told Dr. Geddes that was a setup because I mean to tell you, she was truly, truly amazing. And I applaud her and the work that she did in order to obtain those scholarships. And I want to encourage those parents that are watching, every opportunity that you get, work with your child because the scholarships are out here and available to them. And there's very little that they have to do to apply. And I'm reflecting on even with the agency that the MLK committee, we had a $4,000 scholarship. And believe it or not, we only had 4 people to even apply for it. I mean, $4,000, you know, and you only had 4 people to even apply for it, and have been pushing it practically all year long. And so we started again this year, and there's another $4,000 scholarship that will be available to students, seniors. And so again, I applaud those students for the work and effort that they put in applying for those scholarships and were able to receive them. I also, that workforce, what is it, the Friendly Town? Friendly Town. That was something. Those young people, as I take a stroll down the back streets, caught in my mind. I'm reflected I was in junior high school when we went and did something similar to that, but it was with the electrical work. And I refused to do any type of electrical wiring because I was scared that that wire, if I touch it in the wrong way, I'd get shocked. But I was assured by the electrician that the power was turned off and that I could go ahead and do what I needed to do with the wiring. And so I applaud those young people for what they were able to do and accomplish there as well. And again, that Grow Your Own program, Dr. Geddes, the Lord has blessed District 118 with the number of young people that are interested in coming back here to work here in the school system. So as it's already been stated, study hard and get those passing grades. And I'm telling you, it will prepare you for what is ahead in the years to come. So be blessed to all of you seniors.
So I was one of several parents that got to go to Sandy, Utah, outside of Salt Lake City for the National Archery Competition for the JRTC program. Second year in a row, we did get second in 3D, fourth in the nation for Bullseye. There is an overall score where they combine both the scores, and this is Danville's second year in a row of placing number 1 in the nation overall. Allie Rogers, sophomore. She's only a sophomore. She was part of the Northeast Feeder program that we started in, she started in 4th or 5th grade, and now she's a sophomore. So we are seeing this play out, and these kids have these skills that are amazing to watch. JRTC, I love this program. A lot of people think if you're in the program, you have to join the military. No, you do not. It is a leadership program. These kids, it's absolutely phenomenal watching these kids step into these leadership roles where they never would have. Sergeant Powell, he has so many opportunities to take our children at no cost to our families or our district to compete in robotics. J-Lab, it's like a Scholastic Bowl. Scholastic Bowl. If they get high enough, they go to Washington, D.C. The robotics goes to Dallas. Our drill team could go to Orlando. Archery goes to Utah. Our kids don't get these opportunities. And we took 13 students and seeing them in Utah with these huge mountains around them, totally outside the cornfields. You guys, it was absolutely awesome to watch. They got to compete. They got to meet teams from Guam, Hawaii, islands I didn't know existed, and they're all cadets. Now, our program for the archery for Danville, we offer it to all DHS students and cadets. So during the year, they compete in NASP, and they compete in one team, but nationals, we can only take cadets because the Army pays for it. And I will let you know that command is very pleased with Danville. We are ranked nationally now, 2nd year in a row. 2nd year to have the first place in the nation is, there are no words. So they're very, very pleased with Danville. They want us to grow our program. They're giving us 3 years now to grow our program. And the amount of things that our students could do, they're going to Michigan for JCLC in June to compete. It's like a little boot camp. It's fun. It's a leadership program. So I'm very excited for that. We did do a command exchange, which means our seniors are graduating. They're stepping down. They've promoted our new incoming, I'm a little tired, your command structure. So I did want to shout out to our new battalion commander, Robert Miller. Our new, we call him XO, is Allie Rogers. And our new battalion command sergeant major is Wyatt Bradshaw. I'd like to point out these are sophomores. This is unheard of. They will be going into juniors. Typically, seniors get these command positions. So it's pretty remarkable for students at this age to have these positions. So I'm very proud of them. And I'm encouraged to see what this program does.
Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, DEA. I missed not negotiating. You know, a year ago at this time, for those of us in the room, we're all doing that. But you know, seriously, all kidding aside, it was actually kind of a pleasant thing when I got all done. So we certainly appreciate you and all of our faculty. All of you guys have. I mean, I know we only have 3 more weeks to go, but thank you very much. Yes, it was nice to see everybody out at Turtle Run. We missed probably another 100 or so, so we'll try and get everybody out, and that's one. Okay, and so hopefully we'll improve on that and come up with some other great ideas, and hopefully all get together. Thank you, Mrs. Corley. Yes, great to ROTC. Future problem solvers. Let's go through a couple of things. Southview Band, DHS, Show Choir, Madrigals. I'm not even scratching the surface. Show Choir. All these things. I'm barely talking about all the things that we have to offer in District 118, which it really irritates me when someone goes, "Oh, what about those schools in Danville?" And I'm going, we have unbelievably successful graduates come out of our school, yes. And right. And I'm not just talking about the guys that may get a doctorate or a master's degree or may become a surgeon somewhere or whatever else, but like the building trades, we have people who come and are successful without the college education. And we're setting up for that. So it's exciting to see all the components of District 118, and there's a lot of them. Yes. Okay, moving to try and make our students successful as possible to fulfill their fullest potential. I think that's somewhere on a wall somewhere. So, but we actually take that seriously, and we can go on, but it's 9 o'clock, and we really need to get going here. So, y'all. Have a great May, and we'll see you at graduation. Thank you very much. Go home. We're adjourned.
Nice socks, Elder Parks.